There are many claims of alien abduction every year across the world. Most are best to be taken with a pinch of salt. Some of them, however, are both more intriguing and credible than the rest, particularly those that are little known about, usually due to the persons involved being perfectly aware of just how crazy they sound, and so do not seek publicity of any kind, and certainly no monetary reward for their reports. Perhaps because of this, their stories and accounts might be treated a little more seriously. Here are 10 such encounters that are far from well known, but perhaps deserve a thorough investigation. Bob Rylands abducted several times over 2 decades. Bob Rylands is a military veteran with over 20 years experience, yet only when he agreed to undergo hypnotic regression did he realize that during that time, he had regularly been abducted by visitors from another world in the same way as the aforementioned Tracy Jones. Rylands had always noted strange paranormal experiences, such as hearing buzzing late at night, and footsteps in the hall and landing outside his bedroom like many others before him. Once under hypnosis, he would describe in detail of being taken into a room and placed on a medical bench where various experiments were performed on him. On one particular occasion, he recalled having a triangular grid placed on his stomach, while at the same time being told telepathically that it was to cure a diseased part of your stomach. The Deverell family abduction. Returning home on the A65 road in North Yorkshire just after 5:00 p.m. in January 2005, Rachael Deverell, along with her 2 sons, Benji and Alex, and her mother, Anne, would see a bright light that seemed to be following their car. They continued to watch it for several minutes before it dived towards them and then sped off out of sight. They continued on their 10-minute journey, realizing when they arrived home that it was well after 6:00 p.m. Feeling confused about the hour of missing time, Rachael and the family attempted to put the incident out of their minds. However, Alex began to speak of weird dreams he was having, where he was flying over the countryside in a strange bubble. Rachael eventually agreed to undergo hypnotic regression in order to try and recover the missing hour. She claimed that upon the light descending, all of the family were flown up to an alien craft. Once inside, she would describe the room as having no walls and like standing in space. A dazzling light shone overhead, and there were little ones moving around them. Observing and studying them according to the family, they still see strange lights over their family home, leading many UFO researchers to believe that they are likely repeat abductees, and probably have been for some time. John Day family abduction. Returning home to Essex in October 1974 with his wife and children, John Day, who had no belief whatsoever in UFOs or aliens, had an encounter that would change his mind forever. The journey should have taken half an hour, getting the family home at around 9:45 p.m. They arrived as normal, left the car and got the children ready for bed. As they were doing so, John realized the time was almost 1:00 a.m. Their journey had seemingly taken them over 3 hours over the coming days. All members of the family began to experience terrifying nightmares so intense they were afraid to go to sleep. John and his wife, Susan, also had a perpetual feeling of anxiety and confusion. John, on the advice of a local UFO report group, contacted Leonard Wilder, a hypnotist who was familiar with such cases of missing time. Under hypnosis, John spoke of driving into a strange bright mist that had suddenly fallen from the sky. A bright light began to descend into a nearby field, which then shot towards the car. The whole vehicle was lifted onto another object that John described as a spaceship. Even under hypnosis, John's memories were hazy. He recalled a metal arm swinging over him, as well as feeling as if he was being poked by sharp instruments. He also recalled that the spaceship had furniture that was molded to the walls with no obvious seams. The next memory he had is of driving his family onto his driveway.